Alright, Keelan is the newest character to release on the First Descendant. After having Haley, who is a straight up boss killer with minimum investment, she's not that great with AoE, but unless you found them in a straight line, but she has a purpose and she's great as what she is meant to do. Keelan, well, not so much. After making my first impression video, many commented that he looks cool, but he's missing something. And well, I totally agree. Now, I don't want to bring anyone down when mentioning about Keelan, but well, he feels like he's undercooked. It seems like the devs saw what many mentioned about Haley being so powerful out of the gate, and they kind of tweaked him to make sure that he's not as powerful. So today we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and my thoughts on what they can do to improve Keelan. So if you find this video enjoyable, please consider subscribing. We are on the road to 500 subs, and well, that would make my day. Keelan is the newest toxic character, and with that, only one other person competes with him. And it's the overpowered, let's face it, Freyna's just a league on her own. So we should really stop comparing them for 1 second. He looks like you took Blade from Marvel's comics and took away his fangs and put him in this game. He literally dashes everywhere crazy quickly. And if you time his fourth ability just right, you can even add more dashes. His uniqueness with his debuff doesn't really do damage over time, but allows you to buff your damage due to the amount of debuff that is stacked. He shoots multiple missiles with his base form. He doesn't need any MP at all, but for you to understand that his first and second ability is what helps you generate his energy bar. With his fourth ability being somewhat interesting, allowing you to get more dashes to move around to either explore, getting from point A to point B, or just dashing to do more damage to enemies. And well, see, that's pretty much it. Alright, let's talk about the bad. He feels like a character that needs mid to full investment to really play harder activities. You need a massive amount of cooldown to get the right timings of your dashes and the other abilities to line up with each other. Even a maxed out cooldown, I still feel like I need some more just to make a difference. Also, because you are going to be in the front lines dashing, zipping, zapping, you need more HP. 1 or 2 exploders might just take you out. And a shotgun or anything from a 400% dungeon or harder will probably take a good chunk of your health off. And if you have any more slots after that remaining, you're going to want range on your base build for him so that you're able to travel further with your dash and also hit a bigger range. This will also allow you to widen out your skill 3 to do more burst damage around you. But even after all of that, I'm still wanting more. Alright, now the ugly part. See, if you try any of the Transcendent mods for him, you will see that it doesn't really help his kit. Matter of fact, his mod that I thought would be the best, Focus on Prey mod, well, I'll just say is disappointing to say the least. The mod straight up should be for a bossing setup, but I figured would be more projectiles to one single target equals one button press to get you a bunch of stacks for missiles that hits multiple targets, now hit one singular target, is underwhelming. You only get 3 missiles where your base gets 10 when it's fully maxed with range. Along with that, his changes to his second ability no longer allows you to travel further with more range mods, which for bossing could be fine if you're up close in person, but if you're in mid-range from a Colossus fight, it would take you more dashes to get to the boss and then take more dashes to escape the boss, as you would need to travel further. Keep in mind, the devs mentioned in the private test servers before this game came out with this character that a lot of the players kept using the 2, so they ended up having to adjust the dashes. Now, I honestly don't see a problem with that at all. I personally do really like his dodge, and I think his dodge is a good focal point of his base skill. I honestly don't see really a problem with that. His third ability is where you actually see some improvement by allowing more stacks. I believe you go from 5 to 20. But even with the skill power modifier, surprisingly, is slightly less than the base. Then finally, the biggest letdown at all was his fourth ability. What would have been a 1-button nuke goes from 1700 skill power to barely 500 skill power. To me, his base form seems better to use than using any of his transmods at all. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what am I missing, please. Alright, now let's try to fix him. Now I'm going to focus specifically on his base kit because honestly I feel like it's so close to being a really solid overall kit. First thing I would say it needs is a cooldown to be lowered on his dash ability and his 3 and 4. Not too much, but just a little bit more. Something to keep you going, keeping your stacks ramping up as you continue to keep getting more stacks and maxing out. His third ability should have a bigger range to hit more targets. It is set for 16 meters max. They should make it at least 20 plus to be able to be a little bit better at AoE damage. Finally, the biggest change is his fourth ability. Make it where that no matter what, you gain stacks of his dash within the proximity or not. But make it where if you are outside of the range, you gain a buff similar to Isimo's new rework, Narcissism. While outside the range, you gain faster amount of cooldown percentage, a percentage of defense, and mobility. So this will allow you to go back into the fight with higher defense to stay in the battle, spamming your abilities because you can have faster cooldown, and then you can press your fourth ability again to nuke everything, not just 1 or 2 targets. These won't make him better than Freyna, but this will definitely make him more enjoyable in my personal opinion. Let me know down below, what do you think? Do you agree? And again, please consider subscribing. We're so close to 500 sub goals. I appreciate you guys. See you in the next video. Peace.